There are a couple of ways to bring that back. But anyways, for our prediction ban list, we have a couple of cards courtesy of our subscribers. So for Unlimited, we have Gamma back to 3, one of the sprites back to 3, and Emergency Teleport back to 3. The reason why I'm not even putting Sprite Starter here, because Starter is a spell card that it's rarely gonna be negated, because most of the time in the current meta nowadays we have monster negates. So it's much more fair, in my own opinion, to have Blue or Jet back to 3 rather than Starter. Gamma is an OP card. I would like this to be back on 3 copies just for the fairness of rogue decks, but I think this would be crazy with meta decks nowadays, so it's just a consideration. Also, easy access to Baron the Floor. So yeah, and then like I said earlier, Sprite Blue or Sprite Jet, one of these cards back to 3 copies would be nice. Swap Frog or Beaver back to 3. Bro, you're making sprites a crazy deck again. But that would be a really good addition though. But anyways, yes. And then lastly, we have Emergency Teleport back to 3. Reason for this is supports for rogue decks. But like Gamma, this would actually benefit quite a lot for meta decks as well. That is basically it for the Unlimited. I'm not even putting Fusion Destiny back here because recently heroes are just so crazy. I don't really like to place another advantage in their deck. Sprites aren't doing anything in the meta right now. Yes, I would say. That's why they should have an additional Jet or an additional Blue. One of this would actually benefit quite a lot with sprites and be more consistent. Going first, the deck is kind of good. So that is your Unlimited. Let's move on with our Semi-Limited. Enchantress to 3 is fine. I do think that Enchantress to 3 might be a good addition as well. I think that would be a good option as well to have Enchantress back to 3, just to help out some other decks that doesn't summon that much, right? So yeah, Semi-Limited. Subsided Lotus, I would consider this to be on 2 copies, just to lessen the consistency of the Yubel. Then we have Circular. Circular is just for an addition, but I don't think that they're really doing that much in the meta nowadays, but they are practically still a really good deck. And having this to 2 copies will lessen the consistency of Mathmech. Abyssals, I would like them on 3 copies or 2 copies. In fact, I think 2 copies would be the right number for them. Not the Sornier though. Sornier is basically branded support. You don't want them back to 2 copies or even 3 copies. This, in addition, against Yubel, might be a really good counter. So yes sirree, this might be a really good card to be back on 2 copies, and it would actually help quite a lot some minor decks, rogue decks in fact. So that would be nice. And then lastly, we have the Fire King Kirin. Now, I would consider putting in Flambridge here, but beats the purpose of putting them into the ban list, because usually Snake Eyes use them on 2 copies. And then if you're putting Poplar as well, Snake Eyes are just using them on 2 to 3 copies. So Kirin is the 3rd best thing in a Fire King deck. So I think this would be somewhat impactful in a sense, but not to an extent that it would nerf the deck. So yes, that would be our Semi-Limited. Now with that, I think let's move on with our Limited section here. Kirin at 1. Could be. That would be a really good addition as well in our Limited section. So for our Limited section, we have here Poplar and Flambridge. As Huno entails, he wants this ban. That's still a possibility though. Not now, but maybe in the future. But for now, I would like to entail, this might be a really good card on Limited. Beats the purpose of putting this on 2 copies if ever we put this on the ban list, because Snake Eyes are just using this on 2 copies, and then Fire King Snake Eyes are just using this on 1 copy. Poplar, on the other hand, 2 to 3, no, 1 to 2, depending on the deck. And then next up, we have Super Poly. I know Super Poly is one of the best cards for Yubel, and this is just basically another variant for Yubel in a case. And it's not usually like the big issue of board wiping your opponent. But in my own understanding with this card is you can't interact with it. That's my main problem with this card. And that's why I think having this 1 copy might be okay though. I mean, this can be splashed to any type of deck for that matter. as long as you're not locked into a certain monster type. But nevertheless, Super Poly is really powerful. I think limiting this to 1 copy might be significant enough. Set Rotation, another good card, but this is just like a consideration in my own point of view. Maybe one of the reasons why Konami isn't like adding this back into Master Duel is because of Chicken Game. So 1 field spell on your side and another field spell on your opponent's side. You can draw 1 card and then you can still have an access to your field spell. Really powerful. I think one of the reasons why I'm putting this into or bringing this back out of the ban list is because it would help quite a lot for rogue decks. One of my recommendations is just for Macrocosmos, but as one of my subscribers said, Macrocosmos doesn't do much nowadays, so yeah. But anyways, Kirin at once, second elf, too good. Maybe once a new broken archetype is going to be released, we'll have elf banned. But as of now, they're still practically like a good card, you know. And you know, protection, probability, and then spell summon at level 2. So that is our limited section. Let's move on with our forbidden section. As what me and Huno entailed, or mostly Huno, I just realized it after 1 game. So, opening of the Spirit Gates was one of the most crazier cards for Yubel. And I really thought that this was just like a mediocre card for the archetype. But honestly, once I experienced this firsthand, I think I dealt with this card before with 1 game, and then this was the only card that he has plus 1 discard. I did not read the entire card. Understandable, because I don't play Yubel that much, or not entirely. So you can discard 1 card, spell summon 1 Fiend Monster with attack 0 and defense. That's really powerful. I really thought that this can only special summon the Dark Beckoning from the graveyard, so I was wrong. Second issue that I have, because I didn't read this card effect, once per turn, if you control a level 10 monster in the field, you can add 1 continuous spell from your graveyard to your hand. So it's a basic searcher for your Nightmare Pain. So yeah, I do think that this card needs to be banned or limited, as what Kono entails. So yeah, very powerful card for the Yubel archetype. And then we have 1 Kaliyuga. The reason for this is because Raid Raptors are very consistent nowadays, and Raid Raptors plus Phantom Knights have an easy access to Kaliyuga. The ability to not activate cards on the field is just so powerful. But yeah, Phantom of Yubel 1 to me. You can't put that one though. I mean, powerful as it is, monster negate and then having to have an extra body in the field, that could be a good choice, yeah. But I think Konami would actually do that maybe in a couple of months from now. There are some instances where like the card was a month old. I think it happened with Snake Eyes before, where they actually hit I think that was the wanted to 2 copies, although that was 2 copies, but you know, it got hit to the ban list. Phantom might be a really good card to be added as limited as well. A strong hit to the deck. Yeah, that would be a strong hit to the deck. Yeah, they would be more cautious enough in using the Phantom of Yubel on the field. Because understandably, contact fuse your cards on hand, field, or graveyard, and then summon this to the field. I think this limited would actually help quite a lot in the other meta decks, or some other rogue decks for that matter. But anyways, at least that is our list for today. Thank you, Huno, for actually pointing out some suggestions with regards to the list as well, and to the rest of my subscribers as well. Anywho's guys, that's it for today. We'll continue on with the stream. I'll see you guys in the next video. We'll showcase this one in our video. Also, if you want to join our Discord, it's in the description below, so check that one out. Also, we'll do a showcase with Ancient Gear, although Go Second is gonna be like the best or the only thing that can do. Anyways, that's it for today. Keep safe, good luck. We'll continue on with the stream. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.